All right, we've talked about the draft. The Detroit Lions hold the 3rd overall pick. There is an urgency in Detroit to win now in order to save jobs. Martha Firestone Ford made it clear in December she's sticking with the front office and coaching staff, but she expects more now. What are your thoughts on where the Lions currently are, where they need to go, and what they need to do with that pick that they hold in the top 5?
Mike, I guess I understand why you end up trading Darius Slay if you're the brain trust of this team, and if you're Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia. I get it. I really do. But at some point, you've got to start signing your big players to second contracts and holding on and building a team. Okay, because theoretically, and I forget, it might have been Todd McShay, it might have been Daniel Jeremiah, I forget who. But right after the combine, they said, hey, it looks like the Lions might lose Darius Slay, so they've got to take Okudah. They got to sit here at number 3 and take far and away the best cornerback in this draft, the kid from Ohio State, Jeff Okudah. So, and I thought to myself, they've already got on their team and their organization a really good shutdown corner, and somehow, some way, he's going to walk out the door. And you can't keep doing this. When you have the 3rd pick in the draft, you should use it to really improve your team, not to be like this. Not to, and again, look, I guess Okudah is going to be better than Darius Slay, even though I think there's no question Slay is a top 10, 12 corner in the NFL. But so I guess I look at it and I say the Lions, to me, are just sitting there treading water. And, to lose one corner and then go get another one, and I don't know what they're going to do with their pick. None of us do. But to me, I think that bothers me about the Detroit Lions right now and the build of the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, and look, one of the realities that's going on in Detroit now, and we saw it play out in the comments that Darius Slay made to Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press on his way out the door, the culture change is still a work in progress. And I know that when guys leave New England, they leave Bill Belichick, they believe they're going to do things their own way. What they don't realize is his ways are baked into who they are as coaches. It's all they've known. It's all they've seen. For Matt Patricia, it was 14, 15 years of watching Bill Belichick do what he does. One of the things Darius Slay complains about is that Patricia put up film of Slay getting abused by a receiver in a practice session, and Slay didn't like that. Well, Bill Belichick did that all the time to Tom Brady and everyone else. Prior regimes in Detroit apparently didn't call out the star players who had bad plays in practice. That is an example, a tangible example of the clash of a team that's been crap, all due respect, for 60 years, and a guy who comes in with 14 years of experience working for the gold standard, the platinum standard organization in the NFL. And it's taking time to make it mesh because the guys who were there under a much more lackadaisical regime are finding out that they don't like it with Matt Patricia there doing things, whether he realizes it or not, the Patriot way. And I think with that 3rd overall pick, Peter, what they need to be sure they do is find a guy who's going to be all in with the way they do things in New England. And ideally, I'm a firm believer, when you have multiple needs, trade down and get more lottery tickets and hope you get more winners and try to find more guys who will come in and convert that culture to what it is that Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn are trying to put in Detroit.
Mike, do you remember, this is a long time ago, and you were still a stately Mike Florio Esquire lawyer in West Virginia at the time. But do you remember, I think it was Labor Day weekend, 2003, where the New England Patriots cut Lawyer Malloy. And they wanted him to take a pay cut. He said absolutely no way. Even though it had just been like a year previous that they had won a Super Bowl. Then they didn't make the playoffs the next year. And now they were entering 2003. So, Belichick had been there 3 years. He had won one Super Bowl. He had a lousy year the first year, an okay year the third year, and they won a Super Bowl in a shock in year 2. So he wasn't Bill Belichick yet. Okay, and Lawyer Malloy just ripped the Patriots for how they did business. And so on that first day of the season, after the Patriots lost 31-0, there was a news in Buffalo.
To Malloy.
Team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tom Jackson of ESPN had said on ESPN on that Sunday, the New England Patriots players hate their coach. Okay. And so I am getting into what you are saying right now. And we all know, so the Patriots won the Super Bowl that year. They won it the next year. And they would go on to win it 3 more times, in the last 15 years. But my point overall is, I believe that even though Belichick had won 1 Super Bowl at the time he was trying to make one of his defensive leaders take a pay cut, that he wasn't established to be able to do these kind of things yet and have the players just roll over. Whereas now, they kind of have to just roll over. Whatever he decides, even if it's Tom Brady, in Bill we trust. And so to me, I kind of look at this, Mike, as a little bit of the same thing. Does Matt Patricia, if he shows film of Darius Slay getting beat, should he be doing that? I think so. But if he's going to be doing that, then his team has to trust that this guy really knows what he's doing. And Tom Brady in 2007, when Randy Moss and Dante Stallworth walked into the team for the first time, and in the first team meeting of the offseason in 2007, there's Randy Moss and Dante Stallworth sitting together in the audience. And they've got a team meeting. There's 60, 70 people in there. And Bill Belichick puts on tape of Tom Brady making a crappy throw and throwing an interception late in the previous season. And Belichick says, Brady, what the hell is this? I could get Johnny Foxborough to throw a better ball than this. And Randy Moss and Dante Stallworth looked at each other and said, Dorothy, we are not in Kansas anymore. He's saying that about the best quarterback in the NFL. But he could say that. It was the same reason why Bill Parcells could say that stuff about Phil Simms, in 1987 and 88, because they had won a Super Bowl and he had established himself in his program as being so great. So, and again, I don't think that Matt Patricia is doing a dumb thing by doing that, but it just goes to show you that the players don't have that kind of respect for Patricia, maybe that the players in New England have for Belichick.
It's funny, the thing you mentioned, the same dynamic played out 4 years later when Chad Johnson or Ocho Cinco, whichever surname he was going by at the time, was traded to the Patriots. First meeting, tape from the divisional round loss to the Jets the prior year after the lockout, right? All the crap they got to do to get a team ready with no offseason program. First team meeting, ripping Tom Brady for his performance against the Jets in a game they lost to Rex Ryan and company. And Chad was like, holy crap. If he's held to that standard, we're all held to that standard. And it works because they won. That's the challenge, Peter. If you're going to be that way, you got to get the players to buy in. The quickest way and the easiest way and the most effective way to get them to buy in is to win. So that's why the clock's ticking on Matt Patricia. He's not going to be able to force this culture change on the Lions and get them to buy into it unless they win. Because if they're going to be mediocre, it may as well be the way it was before, where it wasn't the coach is a butthole. And if the coach is going to be a butthole, you better win or people are going to check out. The media is going to be all over you. And the next thing you know, you're the latest Lions coach to get fired.
I'd still take Tua. I'd sit there right at number 3. I'd take Tua. May the best man win the job. And next year you get a 1 for Matthew Stafford. I mean, well, I know it'd kill you on the cap. I get it, but I don't know. I do.
Not like it used to. Not like it used to. Doesn't kill you like it used to. I mean, the Lions got Calvin Johnson and Ndamukong Suh and Matthew Stafford all back in the days before the rookie wage scale. So it's not going to cost what it did, and there may be some wisdom in that to the extent that you can develop him the way you want him to be. And I think Tua will do whatever. I mean, he survived with Nick Saban, for crying out loud. He'll do whatever Matt Patricia tells him to do. He is preconditioned to deal with a Bill Belichick type of a head coach. So I agree with you. Give him a year to sit behind Matthew Stafford, worry about Stafford next year, and get Tua ready for 2021.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.